Yo, what's up, guys? So, in today's video, I want to talk about being disciplined equals freedom. There's been times in my past where I thought that being disciplined, you have to sacrifice, you have to give up, and you're almost like losing freedom. But I realized the more disciplined I am, the more freedom I attain. So, before I get into this and the reasons like why I feel this way, I want to share a quick story with you. Now, in 2020 or before 2020, I was working this like basic job, like a basic 9 to 5, and I went from having a 9 to 5 to when the pandemic hit, I was on unemployment for like a year, maybe even a little bit more. But that meant I was getting money every week and I could wake up when I want, I could go to sleep when I want, I could smoke weed when I want, I could ride the motorcycle when I want, I could do whatever I want whenever I want. And a lot of people want that. A lot of people's desire is to like win the lottery and just do what they want whenever they want. Do drugs, drink, sleep when they want, wake up when they want, and basically have no structure. And don't get me wrong, the first few months were like amazing. Like, who wouldn't want to wake up and smoke weed and ride the bike and go to bed when they want, travel when they want, do whatever? Like, I was just like living my life like a video game for like a few months straight. And then once I got a few months in, I started getting depressed. I started losing my drive. I started getting lost mentally. I didn't know where my path was, what to do. And I felt like I was getting in a rut because I had no structure at all. I could wake up, sleep when I want, I could smoke, I could drink, I could do all these different things. And I almost like not almost, I definitely wanted to have another job again. I almost wish I never went on unemployment. I didn't even want to go on in the first place. It was just in the pandemic, that's what a lot of people did. So I was like following the path of other people. But then a few months in, I was like dying, urging to just have a basic job and a basic structure because I was getting trapped into not having, like, I'm a type of person where I enjoy having a routine. I enjoy having things I have to follow by. I enjoy saying no to things that affect me. Now, I want to share another analogy before I get into my reasoning why I think discipline equals freedom. Now, I remember when I was a kid, they were doing like a lot of campaigns and advertisements on TV and commercials about kids getting addicted to cigarettes or getting addicted to nicotine. And I remember till this day, I remember, and in the moment when I watched this, I really didn't understand the meaning behind it because you're a kid, you don't really know. But now it's like it makes so much sense. But when I was younger, there was this advertisement, and it was basically like this girl like stumbled upon like a pack of cigarettes in a park, and she picked it up and she was about to smoke the cigarette. But before she could smoke the cigarette, she had to sign a contract. And basically, this contract was saying, listen, you could have this cigarette, you could have the dopamine, you could have the pleasure of smoking a cigarette, but you have to sign this contract that's saying you are going to be locked into this vice. You are going to be trapped into this habit. You are going to be addicted to this substance. So basically, a big thing I realized, there's a lot of different notes I have on here, but the first thing I want you to realize is when you get attached to vices like alcohol or cigarettes, or in my case, I'll share my perspective. I used to be very addicted to weed, and I haven't smoked in over 3 years. And the best thing that came out of me quitting is not relying on anything. I don't need to smoke weed before I make a video to share with you. I don't need to smoke weed before I eat. I don't need to smoke weed before I sleep. Because it used to be like that. I was very dependent on it. And yes, oh, you have the freedom to do it. But once you do it, you get trapped into these vices. So if anything, you're giving your freedom away to that substance or alcohol or even other vices I went over recently on my channel, like scrolling on TikTok or Instagram. Yes, you have the freedom to scroll, but you get trapped into it. It controls you and you lose your freedom over it. So it's like contradictory. Like I have a job that tests me and I can't do it. And that's completely fine. Even though it's legal, I could go to the store and get it. I choose not to do it. Because first I get tested, and not only that, that I don't want to be, I try to limit as many vices as I can. Like once in a while, I'll do nicotine or I'll have a drink, but I'm even limiting that down. Like I want to have as little vices as I can. And I feel like the less vices you have, either if it's social media, nicotine, alcohol, porn, whatever it is, the less you have, the more free you are. Now, I also want to explain that it's like contradictory because you're telling yourself, "Oh, I'm not going to do this. I'm preventing myself from doing this." And it seems like you're limiting yourself or you're sacrificing, but what you're giving up, you get more in return. So say, for example, with alcohol, if you want to have the freedom to drink, sure, you could do it. But say if you are like, I don't want to drink alcohol, and the thing you're losing is that substance, you can't drink alcohol, what you obtain is things like you don't have to spend money on alcohol. You don't have to worry about getting a DUI when you're driving because you don't drink. Or you don't have to worry about waking up with a hangover because you don't drink. You don't have to worry about being hungover. Like all these things you obtain because you said you're not going to do it. So it's kind of like a perspective shift. And not only will I say it gives you freedom, I've been the most peaceful and the most, how could you say, fulfilled and enjoyment when I'm in these disciplined states. Like recently, I've just been getting more and more pulled into it. Like I feel like before I was disciplined, I was very lost. I didn't have much motivation. I didn't have drive. And also, this is a key factor to a lot of people with social media and alcohol and all these things. People get stuck in a rut. And I feel like the two ways to like get out of a rut is first you have to limit your vices, you have to be more disciplined and build momentum. So like in my last video, I went over how I recently deleted Instagram and TikTok. Like I still have my account, but I just deleted the app itself from my phone. And that bad habit, breaking that bad habit, breaking that vice, it was so freeing. And not only that, when I broke that one habit, it makes me want to break other habits. Because honestly, scrolling short form content, so many people do it from all different ages. And it is like, it's kind of like alcohol. Like it is so socially accepted, but so toxic and dangerous for you that it blows my mind. Like scrolling mindlessly for hours is probably one of the worst things you could do mentally. And ever since I broke it, I feel more free. And it got me in the momentum of doing more stuff. Like I haven't posted in a long time on my YouTube, and now I'm getting in this momentum of doing more and more videos and stuff. And it was all a catalyst for me breaking that habit, me being disciplined to be like, listen, I don't want to scroll and I want to stop this habit. And it ended up being a good thing to my life. What I want you guys to do is reflect on your life. See if there's anything that you're not being disciplined with. Either if it's you waking up and sleeping at a certain time, or is it your diet? Is it scrolling on social media like I was? Or is it substances like alcohol or drugs or whatever it is? Think, if you were to say in your mind, you have to switch this perspective. Oh, I'm sacrificing, or I'm losing my freedom. I can't do this anymore. Think, what would you obtain if you stop doing that habit or break that vice? Because the more bad habits you break and the more vices you get rid of, you will feel freedom. And the only way to try this is me not telling you, but just I'm trying to inspire someone to be like, you know what? Don't overwhelm yourself and try to gain momentum. You have to try something small. You have to do one small shift. Be like, listen, I'm going to stop smoking for a week and at least try it. I mean, I'm going to make another video on this because it goes deeper than that. It really has to do with self-beliefs and patterns, because I went from like saying, oh, I smoke to like, I don't smoke. That's just the pattern I'm in. But let me not get too in depth with that. This video is to basically show someone that instead of thinking, oh, I'm sacrificing my life by being disciplined, I'm losing my freedom, you want to think, listen, there's a bunch of people around me that aren't disciplined and they think they have freedom because they could drink, eat what they want, smoke what they want, go to bed when they want, and they're just a mess. They have no structure, they have no discipline, they're attached to a bunch of vices. Why don't you be the outlier that is disciplined, that has a regimented routine, that is not attached to a bunch of vices, and is disciplined? Because if you really think about it, discipline equals freedom. You're going to be free compared to all the people around you that are trapped by vices and social media and all these other things. So that's all this video is about. I'm going to have more videos dropping this week. And if you stay to the end, that shows me that you have an actual attention span. You have the discipline to watch something like this to better your life. So if you did watch this whole video, please subscribe or hit the like button, and I'll try to bring as much value to you as I can.